Hey guys, so Nano Dimension is a stock that has been gaining quite a lot of popularity over the past few months, and in the past 6 months alone, the stock is up about 300%. Nano Dimension do still have quite a low market cap. It is at about $1.2 billion right now, but that hasn't stopped outside investors and institutions like ARK Invest wanting to buy into Nano Dimension. And the interest that ARK have given Nano Dimension has partly contributed towards the run-up in the stock of the past few months or so. Only recently have I actually taken a proper look at Nano Dimension, and I thought in today's video I would sort of show my findings and give a bit of a company overview in terms of what Nano Dimension does as a company, as well as a bit of a further look into where they can go in the future. So hopefully you do learn a thing or two from this video. If you do, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like on the video, as that really does help me out a lot. Also, if you want to see similar videos to this in the future, be sure to subscribe, as that does also help me out a lot. And apart from that guys, let's get right into it. So first up, let's take a bit of an overview of Nano Dimension as a company. So Nano Dimension is a provider of intelligent machines for the fabrication of additively manufactured electronics, also known as AMEs. On more simple terms, they are a highly technical 3D printing company that focus specifically on electronic devices. These electromechanical subassemblies are important enablers of autonomous intelligent drones, cars, satellites, smartphones, and in vivo medical devices. Nano Dimension machines serve cross-industry needs by depositing proprietary consumable conductive and dielectric materials simultaneously, while at the same time integrating in situ capacitors, antennae, coils, transformers, and electromechanical components to function at a high performance. The company bridged the gap between PCB and the semiconductor integrated circuits, and they can turn something that starts off as a computer-aided design into a functional, high-performance AME device in just a matter of hours, solely at the cost of the materials that are needed to make it. So Nano Dimension machines can replace the need for outsourcing with in-house cost and time-effective processes that provide many benefits to the user. These do include time savings, cost savings, increased complexity of geometrics, intellectual property security, and streamlined process through added agility. I know all of that was quite highly technical, but all you need to know is that they are a 3D printing company that focus on electronic devices. So their flagship 3D printing machine is called the Dragonfly LDM, and it is a one-stop solution for agile hardware development and innovative circuit design across a wide array of industries. They have the first mover advantage, and analysts do predict that 3D printed electronics will be the next high growth application for product innovation. The market size for 3D printed electronics in 2017 was estimated to be $176 million. Now this is expected to reach $592 million in the year 2021, and even as high as $2.4 billion by 2025. The global 3D printing market as a whole, on a broad scale, not just specifically the 3D printed electronics, is worth an estimated $16 billion, with this market size estimated to grow to $40.8 billion by the year 2024. So despite currently mainly focusing on 3D printed electronics, it is encouraging to see that the overall 3D printing market is also moving in the positive direction too. This could give Nano Dimension some additional ways to generate revenue in the years to come, if they want to move into some more general 3D printing products, not just the electronics. So now moving on to some more stock details and some more about the financials of Nano Dimension. So as I mentioned in the intro, over the past few months, ARK Invest have been buying up shares of Nano Dimension for their ARK-Q ETF. Now this ETF focuses on autonomous technology and robotics, in particular autonomous transportation, robotics and automation, 3D printing, energy storage and space exploration. Now as you may be aware, ARK Invest and their fund manager Cathie are very well respected by many investors. The ARK-Q ETF has performed incredibly well over the past 12 months and is up at the moment by over 101% for the year. So ARK have been adding shares of Nano Dimension over recent months to the point where they now have 4.5 million shares, which have a market value at the time that I'm recording this of just under $40 million. Their position in Nano Dimension now accounts for 2.45% of the entire ETF, which is the 18th largest position out of the 41 total positions in this ETF. So it's safe to say that ARK Invest are very confident in the long-term trajectory of Nano Dimension, and in my personal opinion, if ARK Invest are confident in a company and are continuing to buy into the company, then this is always a positive thing. So at the time that I'm recording this, the stock is currently trading at $8.77 and has been on the rise for the past few months. It is up around 300% over the past 6 months and up around 75% in the past 1 month. Now, with that being said, the market cap is currently at $1.2 billion, which is relatively small compared to a lot of the other companies that ARK do invest in. I would view this as a good thing though, because it means there is a lot of room to grow for the company in the future. Now, Nano Dimension have been hit quite significantly by the pandemic, and it has affected their finances quite a bit. In 2019, their revenue for the 9-month period ending September the 30th was over $5 million, but this has dropped to $1.4 million in 2020. Additionally, their gross profit for that period in 2019 was $1.3 million, but this has also dropped to a $41,000 loss in 2020. Their trailing 12-month operating loss is also up this year compared to the last year at minus $30 million compared to the minus $14.8 million in 2019. However, with all that being said, when things get better and the pandemic starts to fade away, then things will start to look better for Nano Dimension. Analysts are predicting that their sales will grow by 240% in 2021, which is obviously very encouraging to see. So they did also go ahead and address this point in their most recent investor presentation that was posted in the month of December, so fairly recently. They stated that all of their customers were out of the office until July 2020, which means that they were not placing any more orders, and some are still not back in the office properly. Companies across the globe, whether that's in the US, Europe, Asia or wherever, are all delaying purchases of capital equipment due to the uncertain and unstable market conditions that we're in right now. And obviously this does have a negative knock-on effect on Nano Dimension, which has affected their finances this year. Another important point to mention is that Nano Dimension have been offering new shares to the market on a somewhat frequent basis recently, as the stock has been running up in price, and this does obviously dilute the share pool a little bit. 41.9 million shares were offered in December in 2 different batches, 25 million shares were offered in November, 24 million shares were offered in October in 2 different batches, and just under 18 million shares were on offer in May. So this will dilute the share pool a little bit. However, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because offering new shares is an opportunity for Nano Dimension to generate large amounts of cash to fund future growth for the company. In the long run, this can often be quite a good thing, as it will accelerate their business growth going forward. Looking at their website, there is a number of open positions available right now which you can apply to, particularly in research and development roles. So this is definitely encouraging to see that they are still hiring more staff, as increasing the amount of people that are working for them will lead to continued innovation and general growth for the company, especially if it's in that R&D sector. So it is quite hard to value a company like Nano Dimension because they are a relatively small company with a small market cap who are not making profit just yet. However, they are in a unique and fast-growing industry. So at the current share price and the current market cap, this is a lot higher than it used to be just a few months ago. I think personally I probably won't be buying Nano Dimension at the moment, but may look to take up a small position if there is a significant dip in the next few months. I do think that they are an interesting company who have a lot of long-term potential. However, I think that I would rather use my funds at the moment for other stocks that I prefer. With that being said though, I would not necessarily discourage people from investing in them, as obviously ARK Invest are very confident in them, and that is always a positive thing to see. So I would encourage people to do their own research, look into them a little bit more, and make up your decision from there. So that is all for today's video, guys. Please remember that this is for purely entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Please make sure to always do your own additional research into a company before you think about putting your own money into them. With that being said though, remember to leave a like if you did enjoy this video. It really does help me out a lot. Also be sure to subscribe if you want to see similar videos to this in the future. And also remember to leave a comment, let me know what your own thoughts are on Nano Dimension. I'd be really interested to find out. And apart from that, guys, thanks a lot for watching.